Happy Saturnalia, everybody. Christmas is right upon us. Christmas is just going to be here in just 12, 13 days. How exciting. What a wonderful time for feasting and merriment and reveling and drinking eggnog and getting drunk. And commercialism. What a great day for commercialism. Buying things from Walmart with the minimum wage employees to get gifts from China made from the slaves. In overseas, we're going to buy the gifts made from slaves who only get pennies on the dollar, bunch of cheap crap, and give it to other people and say, "Hey, look at us. We're such great people," right? And so Christmas is ridiculous. The whole idea is so stupid. The whole idea of a war on Christmas is even dumb. Is even dumber. There's no such thing as a war on Christmas. The people that actually have a war on Christmas would have been your Puritans, would have been Otto van Bismarck, and it would be George Washington. All right, so let's do some background information. What is this day we call Christmas? We call this day, the day that Jesus Christ was born. Well, the Puritans knew that that was wrong, so they did not celebrate it. In fact, they outlawed it, and they would fine you 5 shillings. If you celebrated Christmas, the second year, the Pilgrims, there was some of the people that came from the ship Fortune, and they were celebrating Christmas, and on December 25th, they said that their conscience wouldn't allow them to work on that day. They want to party, they want to play sports, they want to enjoy themselves and have fun. So that's what the whole Christ Mass is all about. The Go to the origins of Christ Mass. Where did this even come from? Well, Christianity, most of it came from the Catholic religion. The Catholic religion ruled England, or ruled Europe for about 1,000 years. And so it came from Constantine, the Roman emperor of 325 AD. He brings it all together and he says, even though there is no evidence whatsoever that Jesus Christ was born on December 25th, the shepherds, right, they came across the pastures. It was probably a warm day for them to be able to do that. Why would they be crossing over, hills of snow? But there's no evidence whatsoever that he was born on that day. So what Constantine did is that he took the pagan origins, the pagan celebrations of the winter solstice, and he covered it up and gave it veneer and said this is going to be the day of Christmas. Essentially all the same customs and traditions and celebrations were virtually the same, but instead of doing it the way the Romans did it, instead of doing it the way the pagans did it and the heathens, they were going to do Christmas in the way, of a different sort of light. They were going to do it in a Christmas way. Now, winter solstice is logical, it's scientific. I understand winter solstice, it makes sense. Being in the northern hemisphere, in Kentucky, we have 4 seasons. And so for planting, for, driving, for understanding your world, really, summer is when it's hot, winter is when it's cold. That's where the entire festivities of Saturnalia and Sol Invictus come from. They were winter solstice celebrations. And why is winter solstice such a big thing? Well, in the summertime, with the summer solstice, that's when you have the longest days and the hottest days. After the summer solstice, it gets colder and colder and colder, and the days get shorter and shorter and shorter until the winter solstice, until, it's December 21st, but 25th is what it is today. So until Christmas time. Once Christmas time hits, that's when the days get longer and longer and warmer and warmer. So this is just a countdown for Thanksgiving, Halloween. These celebrations are just saying winter is upon us. It's getting colder. It's going to get colder and colder and colder. And so that's what Christmas is all about. Christmas comes from the winter solstice. That's the scientific and logical explanation, and that makes sense to me. It makes sense to me to celebrate winter solstice. It makes sense to me to celebrate the changing of the seasons, because it's going to get colder and colder and colder, and the days are going to get shorter, shorter, and shorter. So that means there's not much daylight to do things, and it's going to get colder. So that means there's going to be snow, and you need to bundle up, and you need to get prepared so that way you can survive through the winter. The winter is, there's going to be extra barriers for survival, so you need to get prepared. And instead of having this big, bountiful feast, which is, really mostly for middle class folks, I think, instead of having a big, bountiful feast, what you should be doing is preparing to be able to survive through the winter, right? It's like the ant and the grasshopper. There's some story where the winter time they're preparing, and then eventually the ant starves or the grasshopper starves because he was lazy, but the ant was working the whole time. And so, you know, I forget which one it was, the ant or the grasshopper, but one of them had been preparing for the winter, to survive through the winter, and the other one wasn't, and then the one dies and the other one lives. That makes sense to me. So, you know, in a way, it's kind of a big, I don't know, slap in the face to our seasons to have such an extravagant, you know, crazy celebration. It's also like an end of the year celebration too. But it would make more sense to me if we had, you know, at harvest time when the money comes in to have a big party. Springtime to say, hey, let's get started. Really, a party is good for any day of the year. So, you know, there's check out my secular holidays, my holidays for the revolutionary humanist, because every day is a holy day, every day is a special day, and every day you should, you know, seize the day, carpe diem. By having some days designated as holy and other days not, you're essentially saying that some days are more important than other days, and that's just not the case. That's not the case at all. Every day has the same, you know, sort of struggles, and you can get enjoyment and merriment from any day that you want to. So really, any day is a good day to party. So some background information. The winter solstice makes sense to me. Now, the Romans, they celebrated Saturnalia. Saturnalia is probably one of the most criminal, debased, you know, sort of celebration that you ever could come up with. It's an orgy of orgies, right? So, you know, homosexuality is fine, but people were allowed to sort of be different, and they were allowed to be criminal. There was orgies. There was also pedophilia. There was criminality. People were robbing people and stealing. People were getting into fights. And so this is Saturnalia, the great feast of Saturnalia. And it was all due to Saturn, the great god of Saturn. There's also the other pagan original Christmas would be the cult of Sol Invictus, the big celebration to pay homage to the sun, the unconquered sun. Let's pay homage to the unconquered sun. The soul of cult Invictus was followed by Marcus Aurelius and other Romans, and it was a whole cult and a whole religion onto itself, and it worshipped the sun. And that makes sense to me, since, you know, we can see the sun. On Christmas Day, I'm going to be celebrating Isaac Newton Day. Isaac Newton was actually born. So, you know, there's actually evidence of him being born, right, on that day specifically. So that's that is rooted in, you know, some sort of solid foundation. Really, Christmas is kind of an amalgamation of all these different traditions, and people can make it to be whatever they want it to be. Santa came from Coca-Cola, but Santa also came from Saturn. Look at Saturn. Look at him. I mean, look at this picture right here that I got posted up. You have, you know, he's got like, you know, sort of a loincloth with the reeds or whatever the greenery is, but he's got long hair. You know, he's also like his hip is all cocked to the side and crap. He's an ancient Roman religion, or he's an ancient Roman god, a character in myth. Saturn is a complex figure because of the multiple associations and long history. He was the first god of the capital, known since most ancient times, and Saturnus moons and was seen as a god of generation, dissolution, plenty, wealth, agriculture, periodic renewal, and liberation. So a whole bunch of different stuff, right? You know, that's Saturn, and Saturn is, you know, is also one of our planets, but he's a god, right? God of the ancient Romans. And Saturnalia was the celebration to celebrate this man right here. I got a couple other pictures of Saturn. Here's Saturn right here, about to chop off Cupid's wings, right? There's a great fucking man, right? He's got wings, this old ass fucking man. Look at him, he's real strong and buff too, right? Totally naked, and he's got wings. And just like Santa Claus, like Father Christmas, he's got the long beard, he's an old man, and here he's got, you know, a sickle, and he's going to chop off the wings of Cupid. Cupid, who goes around making people fall in love with one another, right? Love is good. That's where all the virtues come from, is love. But the god of Saturn says, fuck love. Fuck this asshole. I'm going to chop off this kid's fucking wings. And then we'll have this other picture here, too, where you got Saturn just eating and sucking the life out of children, right? There's Santa Claus. There's Father Christmas right there, just sucking the life out of the fucking children. You know, doesn't give a shit. This is where Christmas comes from. Christmas comes from Saturnalia, Constantine, 325 AD, used the pagan celebrations, and he determined it to be the birth of Christ because the name Catholic means universal. So he wanted to get all the pagans all on one page. So he wanted to get all their celebrations, all their sort of, bullshit religious fucking rituals, and then make it into one Catholic ritual. Catholic means universal, and that's the whole point of the Catholic religion, was to get everybody involved. And so they wanted to get the pagans to stop worshiping Sol Invictus and stop worshiping Saturn, and they wanted to get them to worship Jesus Christ, of which the Roman Empire had murdered 3 centuries before. So that's really fucking great. That's a little fucked up, right? The Romans killed Jesus Christ, and then they adopt his holiday as something to celebrate year after year after year. So that was a nice sort of coup d'etat. That was a nice takeover of a different holiday. And they changed it a little bit, but it didn't change up until, just maybe 100 years ago substantially. So there's a lot of things that's involved with Christmas, and I'm going to go through each and every one of them. But first, I'm gonna start from the beginning. Here's Sol Invictus, right? Here's the birth of the unconquered sun. And one of the biggest things that happened with Christmas was in medieval times and in England, and I think it was in Roman times too, but they would elect a king of fools. They would elect the Lord of Misrule, the king of the slaves. And so during Christmas time, either for a week or 12 days or for 3 months, this one person was elected or appointed to go around creating as much mischief and doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do. They were king. And they were king for about a month, just like Quasimodo in the Hunchback of Notre Dame. So Quasimodo was the king of the fools, right? Unfortunately, after they had led the month of misrule and debauchery and drunkenness and, whatever, public sex, having sex in the middle of the fucking streets, they would eventually execute the king of fools. So they didn't do it with Quasimodo. Basically, they just tied him up, right, and threw a bunch of tomatoes and eggs and stuff at him. So he was king for a day, right, feeling good. Look at me, I'm king. And then, oh well, not really king, but at least they didn't execute him. They didn't kill him, right? So I was talking in the very beginning about who started the war on Christmas. George Washington started the war on Christmas. So because Christmas was an English celebration, it was also Germany that brought over the Christmas trees. And the Puritans and the Pilgrims hated fucking Christmas. They were one of the originators of the war on Christmas, as was Otto von Bismarck, who declared war against the Catholic Church itself. And so, you declare war against the church that established Christmas. Indirectly, you're also declaring war on Christmas. But specifically, the Puritans banned Christmas. You got fined 5 shillings, which is $100 today, if you were caught not working on Christmas Day. George Washington, this biggest claim to fame with this picture, this picture is just so ridiculous, right? Washington crossing the Delaware. And so while all of his soldiers and all of his men are doing all of his work and shit, he's just standing up there, right? Just saying, oh, look at me, I get to do nothing, and just stand around and shit. And everybody else has to struggle with all the icebergs and getting them all on through. It makes no sense. You're trying to be all secretive and clandestine, and he's standing up right in the boat. That makes the boat more rickety, makes it more unstable. Sit the fuck down, George. What are you doing? So, and then you also see some horses in the background. So this was a big moment in the American Revolution, because not just a couple weeks ago, George Washington thought he was going to lose the whole war. They declared independence in 76. The Continental Army was fucking losing all their damn battles. And then eventually, the great, brilliant George Washington says, wait, what if we attack the Germans on Christmas? That's a great fucking idea. Everybody joined in, right? Christmas is a day they'll be drunk, they'll be dancing, they'll be wore out. They won't expect it because that's a holy day. You're supposed to honor the holy day, but George Washington didn't give a shit about their God, didn't give a shit about Christianity, and fucking hated Christmas. The people that he went to attack in Trenton were the Hessians, and the Hessians were from Hesse, which is a German-speaking nation. Germany wasn't a country yet, but this would be a province in modern-day Germany. So the Hessians were the German mercenaries. They were tricked. They said, "Come on over here. We need more soldiers to help defend the colonists from the Native Americans. Once they got to America, they said, we tricked you. Really, we don't need to fight the Native Americans. We need to fight the colonists. The colonists are trying to overthrow the British rule, and the rich, wealthy, white aristocracy, they want to take all the damn power. See and so that's how the Hessians got here. But you see the revolution, the so-called American Revolution, wasn't a revolution. It was an anti-revolution. Yeah, they overthrew the British. It was a 7-year-long war, but that's in the eastern part. In the western theater of the war, they were just killing Native Americans. In Kentucky, that's all they were doing was killing Native Americans. Chief Pluckee, the Battle of Blue Licks, the Battle of Point Pleasant in West Virginia. It was all about murdering Native Americans so they could take their lands. So every soldier that fought in the Continental Army was guaranteed a plot of ground, and even the Hessians or the British who deserted their armies would get a plot of ground, 50 acres for the lowest privates, or if you were a general, you could get up to 1,000 acres if you deserted the British Army and ceded to the Americans. The British also offered freedom for the slaves. So most black folks, most Native Americans fought against George Washington. How can it be a revolution when you're killing and murdering and genociding the original inhabitants of this land? There can be no justice on stolen land. And so here it is, War on Christmas, right? This revolutionary, this great revolutionary, right? It wasn't no fucking revolution. The new country in the Constitution, they forgot to enfranchise women. Women didn't have a right to vote. Poor white men who didn't own any property, they didn't own a right to vote. Black folks, Native Americans, anybody under 21, nobody got a right to vote except for rich, wealthy, land-owning, land-stealing, genocidal fucking maniacs. That's the only people that got a fucking right to vote, such as George Washington's and all his fucking cohorts. Those are the people that got a right to vote, were the upper elite white male who owned property. Most of Americans did not have a right to vote. So this revolution was for the people? No, it wasn't for the people. It was for the rich and the plutocrats, the aristocracy, the genocidal fucking warmongers. So, in truth, the revolution killed all the revolutionaries. Because who would be the revolutionaries in the American Revolution? Well, it'd be the Native Americans. It'd be the ones who were fighting for their own land, fighting for their kins, fighting for their women and children and the right to exist and the right to be right here. Those are the revolutions. So the so-called revolutionaries, the American Revolution, killed most of the revolutionaries. And you don't believe me? Well, just look at the French Revolution. Look at the Haitian Revolution. Those were way more revolutionary. The Haitian Revolution literally had the slaves take over. The slaves became the masters. The slaves kicked out the French occupiers, and they became their own kings. King of the slaves? No, they were kings of themselves. So they weren't just given like Quasimodo a day to be king. They became king themselves. That's fucking revolutionary. You can't get no more revolutionary than that. Talking about flipping the society upside down, which was actually a Christmas tradition. It's a Christmas tradition. The whole King of Fools and the Lord of Misrule, the whole idea of the Christ Mass during medieval times was to invert the society. The women became the men. They wore different clothing. The children would go around getting free stuff from the adults in all these houses. And sort of like trick-or-treating, right? There was mumming and wassailing. And the wassailing was sort of you knock at people's doors and you say, hey, let us eat your food. Let us drink the best stuff that you had and we'll give you some goodwill. Meaning we won't fuck your shit up. We won't fucking TP your house. We won't break your damn door down. And we won't just rob you fucking right out. You be nice. And actually with the way that they justified it and said that it was sort of a safety valve because even though it had made fun of the social caste, it also acknowledged it. And so it was saying, all right, for the whole year, you're the poor peasant that has to fucking do all the shit that we tell you to do. But at Christmas, the society is inverted. And so the poor and the slaves get to do the rich people things, right? By eating nice and eating good foods and, just basically sort of merrymaking and enjoying their life. So George Washington was the first person to declare war on Christmas because he attacked the Hessians because he thought he'd been tired of Christmas Day. And it turns out the Hessians actually didn't they might have celebrated Christmas like in their hearts, but they didn't have a drink of alcohol, nor did they have a piece of bread. They were starving. They didn't have any food. They had no alcohol. And so it wasn't so much that the Hessians were drunk and tired. It was more or less that Washington, just his army was able to defeat them, historically, because they had stronger numbers and outflanked them and used the military tactics in order to win the battle. So that's George Washington. That's the fucking, you want to talk about the war on Christmas? He declared war on fucking the Hessians and their display of Christmas. Now you have Herodstown, okay? Herodstown was attacked by Chief Plucky. Now, Chief Plucky is a Mingo war chief. Mingo, Mohawk, Iroquois, deflected. He's his own person. He's got Pluggy's Town up in Delaware, Ohio, which is north of Columbus, and he was attacking settlers everywhere. On Christmas Day, 1776, the same day that Washington crosses the Delaware to go kill the Hessians, you got Chief Plucky coming down to Kentucky to attack Herodstown, Harrodsburg. And Harrodsburg, this is the first white settlement west of the Appalachian Mountains. So it would be the first New West. The New West. The whole, manifest destiny. Let's just take all this damn land, all that we can, right? That would have been in Kentucky, and that would have been Herodstown, which was the first white settlement. And it was right before Boonesboro. Boonesboro would be the next year. So Herodstown is the first white settlement. It's the New West, but I guess now it'd be the Old East, right? And then the Old West is actually newer than the New West, but whatever, you understand what I'm saying, because the 13 colonies is on the eastern seaboard, and when they started going past the Appalachian Mountains, now you got the New West. That's the so-called frontier, and the frontier, that's where they were murdering all the Native Americans, right? There wasn't no British out here in the Kentucky country. It was Native Americans they were having a fight, and also French. They had French forts at Skipakithi and French trading towns. So Herodstown was also attacked at Christmas Day. So you could say Chief Pluggy was a person who declared war on Christmas. Here is a modern day replica of the old Herodstown. So it was just a palisaded village with all these wood cabins, and so they had like a little village amongst themselves, right? So that's what that exists today. You could go see that in Herodstown today or Harrodsburg today. But he attacked them on Christmas Day, and then he attacked some more, and he killed John Gabriel Jones, and then eventually he goes to McClellan Station, kills McClellan, and then the McClellan's men chase him down. They eventually kill Chief Plucky. So Chief Plucky had died, after his December, his Christmas Day raid in 1776. Okay, so the history, there's an article I just read actually about the history of Christmas and where it actually came from and who actually promoted it the most, okay? And they said that it was Queen Victoria, but really it was good Queen Charlotte, Prince Albert, about in the 1800s, 1840s. There's also Martin Luther had come up with the Christmas tree. So the Christmas tree isn't even a Catholic thing, even though the Catholics were able to adopt it into them. Martin Luther was the one that came up with the Christmas tree. Martin Luther is like the king of the Protestants, right? He nailed the 51 Theses on the door, and that was revolutionary. Hey, you damn fools, fuck your religion. We're going to interpret the Bible for ourselves, and we're going to worship God the way we think is best. Fuck the Catholic Church. So that's Martin Luther's entire saying, is just fuck the Catholic Church, right? He went through the forest, saw a tree, and said, hey, let's start doing this fucking Christmas thing. That was in 1536. So Germany and the Christmas tree is very much one and the same. So the Germans were known to be more sort of, more partying, more fun, more liberating. Instead of being a bunch of Puritan fucking prudish, uptight fucking corncob up the butt, fucking stuck up, neurotic pieces of shit. A bunch of English-speaking genocidal fucking Protestants who pretend to be good people, but really killing Pequot, Patuxent, Shawnee, anybody they want to fucking kill, right? Just have a good old fucking time. They were morally superior to everybody. They thought your damn Christmas was fucking evil. And then they were out there murdering the fucking Pequot, wiped them all out. Men, women, children, didn't give a shit. Outright terrorism. Washington was a terrorist too, killed all the fucking Iroquois, and then went into the Ohio lands as soon as he became president, started declaring war on all those Native Americans in the Ohio country. War of 1812 was just about trying to steal Canada. So the Duke of Cumberland, well, we crossed across the Duke of Cumberland because we got the Cumberland River here in Kentucky. The Cumberland River was named after the Duke of Cumberland. So you just want to see how the genociders are able to take over. The Cumberland River used to be called the Shawnee River. So when the English-speaking Protestants were killing Puck-Shinwa, Tecumseh, Maloonta, Cornstalk, Black Snake, when they murdered all these Native Americans, they killed them all. These are all leaders of the Shawnee. So the Shawnee River is the Cumberland River today. So they went ahead and not only murdered all the Shawnee, but they changed the name of their stuff. So that's also true with Skippakitiki. The last Shawnee village of Kentucky is called Skippakitiki, and it's in Clark County. Clark County is named after George Rogers Clark, the great genocider of the Northwest. So the great genocider of the Northwest, he goes ahead and gets his own county on top of the old Shawnee village. Where's the Skippakitiki today? Nobody fucking knows. It was the last permanent village of the Shawnee. French traders were also there too. The French were actually very fair in dealing with the Native Americans compared to the barbaric Spanish and the barbaric English. The French actually had, at least in Kentucky, they were fair. They dealt with the Native Americans fair. They give them a good price. Native Americans give them beaver skins and deer skins, elk skins, buffalo skins, whatever they wanted, right? And in exchange for them getting the resources from the land, they would be able to get guns, ammunition, pots, and silverware and whatever trinkets the fucking England or the fucking French would give over. So this is William Augustus, Duke of Cumberland, his fat fucking face and his stupid ass fucking clothing, right? Well, look at all those clothes. He must be a fucking god, right? Look at all those clothes. This fat fucker couldn't do a goddamn thing, couldn't do shit in his entire fucking life. He butchered the Scots-Irish in the Highlands of England. He's known as a butcher. So not only did we wipe out the Shawnee, genocide the Shawnee, and we named the river after the Duke of Cumberland, who was a butcher, a genocider. Big shocker there, right? A bunch of genociding motherfuckers naming the fucking rivers after other genocidal motherfuckers. The Scots-Irish, Scotland today, still remembers the Battle of Culloden, where he fucking massacred all the Scottish people, issued no quarter, massacred, killed everybody, had no mercy for anybody, hunted people down in their fucking, in their houses. If somebody had a rebel in their house, they all got killed. If you were wounded in battle, you got killed. If you had a gun in your hand, you got killed. All the Scots got fucking smashed. And so England says, oh, that was a great victory and a great battle and all this other shit. But it was a fucking genocide on the Scots. The Scots and the Irish fucking hate this piece of shit still today. So this is another picture of the great fucking Duke of Cumberland, right? Fucking Prince William or whatever the fuck his first name is. His title is actually more important than who the fuck he is. It's almost like Canterbury, right? You got a good ass name. That name just kind of lives into, posterity. Just has longevity like a motherfucker. And yet this piece of shit here, fat, uneducated, stupid, couldn't fucking, probably couldn't even pull up his pants by himself. He goes with the fucking military man and goes kill people. Also note the similarities. He's got a powder wig. He wears his fucking wig and his hair just like George Washington. These motherfuckers are British aristocracy. They pretended their shit didn't stink. They pretended they were fucking better, and all they learned was how to rule over others. You want to sit there and tell motherfuckers, hey, be a slave and one day you'll be like me? Bullshit. These motherfuckers have been practicing how to manipulate and control you since the day they were fucking born. So Scotland, here's a Scottish man playing bagpipes with one of the old castles in the Highlands of Scotland. So there's a picture of Scotland in England. Here's another beautiful picture of the Highlands and the tactics that the Scottish kinsmen and the tribes would use is to attack, over the hill and just go as fast over the hill towards the fucking people on the bottom as they could. And they had to learn how to fight against that tactic. The Duke of Cumberland did. Otto von Bismarck, I already mentioned Otto von Bismarck. He was the one that had the Kulturkampf, and so he declares not war on the Catholic Church, but basically he tries to make Catholics illegal. He bans the churches being owned by the Catholic Church. He says, this is my country. Everybody in my country got to do what I say. And so the Catholic churches are now the property of Germany. Then the schools, he said that all the school system was now an instrument of the state. And so he declared war on the Catholics. Then you got the 5 Franciscan nuns, and then the Catholics cry about how horribly they were, prosecuted and all this other shit. But really, the Catholics have been the ones that have been fucking people over for many years, at least the leaders and the Pope and the Holy Roman Empire. So this is Otto von Bismarck, right? The great fucking whatever, blood and iron, the great Iron Chancellor. He's got a helmet with a point on it, so I guess that the helmet was supposed to be a weapon. If you didn't have any more ammunition, you could always take your helmet off and just beat the shit out of somebody with that point on top of your head. It seems like a good idea, but maybe in close hand-to-hand combat, somebody could grab, I don't know. Maybe just too much money to put a point on everybody's helmet. But that's Otto von Bismarck, the founder of modern-day Germany, 1871. So the founder of Germany declared war on the Catholics. He tried to ban and abolish Catholicism out of Germany. And actually it backfired on him because the people came back stronger than ever. So he was able to get a lot of the priests and bishops, kicked out. And if they tried to teach, they would get fined and shit. And he also was able to take a lot of the property that the Catholic Church had acquired. So he put a dent. He gave some damage to Catholicism in general, but in the end he wound up losing because the Catholics were able to get their people elected in Parliament later on. So they're able to use the Kulturkampf as a way. He's attacking us, and we're just good little Christians. How dare him do this? And they eventually was able to use that victim mentality in order to win some seats. So here is the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims also declared war against Christmas, outright banning it. Right? Here's a public notice. The observation of Christmas has, something has been deemed a sacrilege. The exchanging of gifts and greetings, dressing in fine clothing, feasting, and similar satanic practices are hereby forbidden, with the offender liable to a fine of 5 shillings. So you fucking worship Christmas, you're the devil. That's a satanic practice. And the Protestants were right about this, because the Protestants were saying that not only did the Bible not deem a date for Jesus Christ, but the Bible, doesn't say anything about celebrating it. That Jesus didn't say celebrate my birth forever and ever. But the Constantine, he had put it and covered it over Saturnalia and the cult of Sol Invictus. So because they were taking pagan rituals and they were trying to cover it up with a Christian veneer, the Puritans, the honest-to-God Christians, the ones who want to keep Christianity pure and holy as they had known it for many years, fucking hated Christmas. Fuck your Christmas. We declare war on your fucking Christmas. You can't dress in nice, fine clothes. Fuck you dressing in fine clothes. Right? Like Washington, like the Duke of Cumberland, like all these goddamn monarchs dressing in their fucking fine clothes. You can't dress in fine clothes. Even William Bradford had them weird-ass fucking Puritan hats and those buckles and shit. Right? Nah, no fine clothes. Miles Standish, he had red hair and the helmet and all the fucking soldier garb. You also couldn't feast, and you couldn't exchange gifts or greetings. So go to Bill O'Reilly and he's like, hey, happy holidays, Bill O'Reilly. Fuck you. Fuck you. It's Merry fucking Christmas. Merry fucking Christmas, god damn it. God will bless you all over your face if you don't shut up with the happy holidays. This actually comes straight out of the Puritans. The fucking Puritans hated anybody who exchanged gifts and greetings. Today is Christmas. I'm going to give a gift to my loved one. Fuck you. 5 shillings. Give me 5 shillings, motherfucker. Happy holidays. Fuck you, 5 shillings. Merry Christmas. Fuck you, 5 shillings. That's the Puritans. That's the founders. That's what Thanksgiving, the great Thanksgiving feast, right? Americans and Native Americans living in harmony. This is the Puritans. This comes from Massachusetts Bay Colony. So for the preventing the disorders arising in several places within this jurisdiction by reason of something observing such festivals superstitiously kept in other communities to the great dishonor of God and offense of others. It is therefore ordered by this court and the authority thereof that whoever shall be found observing any such day as Christmas or the like, either by forbearing labor, not working, feasting, having a big dinner, or any other way, upon any such account as aforesaid, every such person so offended that shall pay for such offense 5 shillings as a fine to the county. Massachusetts Bay Colony, 1659. 5 shillings is $100 today. So that's the origins of Christmas, right? That's the origins of America. The Christmas is starting to gain steam, trying to get bigger and bigger, religious fucking holiday, but they were superseding other pagan religions, so the Puritans knew what the fuck was going on, and therefore they called bullshit. They called bullshit on Christmas, and they said that is not the day that Jesus was born, and fuck you for making us celebrate the fucking pagan, heathen religions of Sol Invictus and Saturnalia. So the Christmas tree, I'm fascinated with the Christmas tree. Why I don't give a shit about the fucking religious aspects, the German aspects I really like. So if you want to have the spirit of Christmas and how everybody gets into the Christmas spirit, go to Germany. That's where this entire thing came from. Eventually, the English would take some of the German practices, either by a German wife or by a German king or whatever, and have a Christmas tree, and then the English started doing it, then the Americans started doing it. Right after the Revolution, though, because everything English was fucking bad, that Christmas was fucking no, we're not going to do no Christmas. Washington declared Thanksgiving, but fuck Christmas, right? He started the war on Christmas against the Hessians, against the Germans. And so the history of the Christmas tree, I'm not even sure why this is put up here, but let's see. The evergreen fir trees traditionally been used to celebrate winter festivals, pagan and Christian, for thousands of years. Pagans use branches of it to decorate their homes. Right, we know all this. So really, you can't pin down where Christmas trees actually got started, because the idea of the evergreen tree living throughout the winter is a symbol of life. And so there was lots of people that did lots of different shit. Go to Jeremiah 10, 2-4. Jeremiah 10, 2-4 in the Bible, and it says that those people who cut the trees out of the forest and bring it in, who cut the trees out of a forest with an axe and bring it into their house and fasten silver and bells and gold on them, those people are not evil, but they're also not good. Just don't do them, because they're the way of the heathen. That's the fucking heathens. The heathens are cutting the Christmas trees. The heathens are the ones doing this shit. That's the Bible. Jeremiah book 10, verse 2-4. I'm not really learning much through any of this, so I'm just going to pass this page up. Here's the origins of Christmas. You got Prince Albert, who was a fucking prince, and then you had Queen Victoria of England in 1840, and they had a Christmas tree. Prince Albert wanted to bring the tradition of Christmas to England because he had always enjoyed it in Germany, and so here's a picture they published, the Prince Albert's Christmas with the big tree, all the kids and shit, and everybody was like, hey, we're going to start doing that type of shit too. So Prince Albert and Queen Victoria are the ones who actually get all the credit for it, 1840, right, which is what, historically yesterday? But Queen Charlotte, the so-called good Queen Charlotte, actually had started the Christmas tree tradition in England in 1800, 40 years prior. But these are the people that made it big for the English to start celebrating Christmas. For the English, Christmas and Christmas tree, the way that it's celebrated today, didn't start evolving until just about 100, 200 years ago. Before then, it was the Lord of Misrule Day. It was Christ Mass, right? Where people got to be, you know, a bunch of devils for a fucking month. Where there was wassailing and mumming and, you know, Oliver Cromwell even fucking banned it. The Puritans absolutely hated Christmas. The Puritans would declare Christmas illegal in Britain in order to stop the fucking debauchery that is Christmas. There was a big problem with Christmas in England because, or Christ Mass, because in England they said that the debauchery and the evil and the criminality that happens in the 12 days of Christmas trumps the entire 12 months of the year. So for 12 months of the year, you're a good-ass Christian. You do what you say. You do what's right. When Christmas comes in, you say, fuck it, throw caution to the wind, and you just be your fucking wild, beastly self. You get angry. You get mad. You fucking take shit. You don't give a fuck. Wassailing, it's not so much you're robbing people. I mean, I guess it could be, but the wassailing, the idea of wassailing was that poor people would go to the rich people's doors, and they would say, hey, in exchange for us not destroying your shit, let us enjoy your wine, let us enjoy your food, let us have fun playing with your stuff. And they would do it because once they do it, they would go on and do whatever the fuck they wanted to do, and then for the rest of the year, they're back into their position of being a nobody peasant fucking slave. So that's that was Prince Albert, right? Here's another picture of the great Prince Albert. I think Prince Albert actually married his cousin. right? So a bunch of fucking cousin fuckers are the ones that brought Christmas into England. So we're following the tradition of cousin fuckers, Saturnalias, pedophiles, and debauchery and criminality. Really, the only redemption for all of this is, you know, kindness, good cheer, love, but it's the inversion of the social classes. So the slaves got to elect a king and do what the fuck they wanted to do, right? That's a great thing. Men and women would switch their clothing and they would, you know, just go around having fun and wearing the opposite sex's clothes. So there was an inversion of the social roles, inversion of the gender roles, inversion of the class roles, and inversion of the age roles, such as the children going around like in trick or treat, right? Hey, trick or treat, give me some damn candy or I'm gonna fucking egg your fucking house. We'll be back and give you a trick, right? Motherfucking trick. We're gonna fuck up your shit. Well, here's a treat. Here's a fucking fun Snickers bar. Get the fuck out of my face, right? So that's where the wassailing was something that was also being done at Christmas time. So that's Prince Albert, right? Look at him, Mr. Dignified. I have a puffed out chest and I got these shiny shoes. I am important and I got this comb over to cover up my balding spot. Because even though I'm the great king, even the great king can't stop the mortality of man. Here's the good Queen Charlotte. Supposedly she was known to be ugly. She had flared nostrils and all this other shit. She looks delightful here. But again, big flowing gowns. You tell that none of these fucking monarchs or rulers, they're not getting out in the soil. They're not fucking working hard. A bunch of aristocratic fucking assholes, right? She ain't gonna get her dress all fucking dirty. She's just gonna be like, let them eat cake. And in fact, when she became queen, they said, hey, just don't meddle in the affairs of politics. Okay, Massa, whatever you say, Massa. But she's the one that had brought, she was the wife of King George III. So remember, King George III's wife is the one that brought the Christmas tree and made it popular in England. King George III's wife, his wife, he's the one that we fought in our so-called revolution. That was anti-revolutionary. That wasn't a Haitian revolution. Wasn't a French revolution. The French, they chopped the head off the fucking monarch. Fuck the king. Fuck the ancient fucking ways of king, queens, marrying your fucking cousins and all this fucking disgusting fucking I don't know, cousin fuckers. What is it that you call that? Incest. Fuck all the pedophilia. Fuck all the incest. You know, we're not going to celebrate your goddamn Christmas. You know, we're going to have a break with the old times and now it's the new times. Modern era started with the execution of King Louis the 16th and Marie Antoinette. That's when the modern era begins. And we're in a postmodern era. So if you don't even know when the modern era began, you don't even know shit about the postmodern era. We're the internet generation. The revolution's already here. Murray Russell Brand is right. The only way it could lose if we stop and we don't get victory. So she had brought the Christmas tree in 1800. Supposedly, somehow, the friend of somebody, Martin Luther, he found it, and that's how Queen Charlotte got a hold of it. Queen Charlotte, I think, was German too. Prince Albert was German. So George III is marrying Germans. Germans are coming over, ruling England. And in fact, the Anglo-Saxons of England originally came from Germany. So every English motherfucker came out of Germany. Germany is where it all began. That's where it all happened. And it's still happening. It's the strongest economy in Europe is Germany. Here's Martin Luther listening to some iTunes. But he's the one that found the Christmas tree in 1536. So whereas Christians, or Christmas, I have confused, not so much confused, but I've associated mostly with the Catholics because of what they had done with Constantine and grabbing all the fucking religion and shit. It was the Protestants. It was the Protestants who actually got the Christmas tree. So the Puritans were even being more pure than the Protestants. They were sitting there saying they was even better than the Anglican church, better than the fucking Catholic church. They were the purest and the holiest. They were the lost tribe of Israel. They were the best and the goodest people on the fucking planet. Their morality just exceeded everybody. And that's the reason why they were allowed to massacre all those women and children on the Pequot Massacre of Mystic River. They were good. They were great people. Here's Queen Victoria, right? She's a delightful, you know, fat fucking face. Almost mannish. Is that a man or is that a woman? She ain't even happy. She's fucking sad. You're fucking queen and you ain't even fucking happy. But 1840, they said that it was her and Prince Albert that brought the Christmas tree into the public realm and made it popular for the whole world to understand and to see. And so Christmas was a carnival. So we got the ancient traditions down, right? Saturnalia. Saturnalia, I got some pictures of Saturnalia. So Saturnalia was the debauchery. I think I already showed the pictures in, didn't I? Yeah, I guess I did. So the Saturnalia was, you know, the fucking orgies to end all orgies, right? Just a big Roman festival to honor the god of Saturn, which is Saturday. Saturday is named for the god of Saturn, right? Saturday, Saturn Day. Also, Sunday is the worship of the sun, like Sol Invictus. Monday, worship of the moon. Thursday is Thor's Day, right? So that's even the days of the week that we celebrate or that we have today is sort of a celebration, sort of a holiday. Every Saturday is Saturn's Day. Saturn, the great god who sucks the fucking life out of children, right? The Father Christmas, Father Time, Santa Claus. That's Saturn. Saturn every fucking Saturday. Sunday, Sol Invictus, worshiping the sun every Sunday. Supposedly, which one's the Sabbath? Nobody fucking knows. Some people say Saturday, some people say Sunday. There's no consistency with these fucking assholes. So, Quasimodo. So we know where the origins come from. We know that it's pagan origins, the Sol Invictus, Marcus Aurelius' religion of Sol Invictus, and we also know that it's Saturnalia. That's where Christmas, the fundamentals of Christmas comes from with Constantine. Now, eventually it's going to evolve and it's going to change into something different. That's when you get the Lord of Misrule, right? This is medieval Europe, right? This is fucking Paris, France here. And so during medieval Europe, they had Christ Masses, and Christ Masses was a carnival. It was a big carnival atmosphere. Everybody was on the streets having a good time, getting drunk, merry-making, just merry-making. Hey, we're merry-making. Which I think is just smiling and being happy and shit. So for the rest of the year, they couldn't be happy, right? If a Puritan saw you being happy, hey, are you celebrating Christmas? No, well, you wipe that damn smile off your face. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry about that, Master William Bradley. I didn't mean to celebrate no Christmas. It's not the American way. We fucking pilgrims who founded this continent, we fucking pilgrims hate Christmas. And as long as we're in rule, as long as we're in power, Christmas will be made illegal to the day you die. So we know the origin, Saturnalia, Sol Invictus, and then the medieval fucking Christ Mass is what I understand it as. I saw a documentary, and I've been calling it Christ Mass, but it was actually hard to find this information. So you may want to actually come back to this and sort of, try to find it. What do you type in to find out, that Quasimodo, once he was elected king of the slaves, he would eventually be executed and sacrificed. I found a list of names of people who were the lords of misrule. I found some people who were, the king of the slaves and were the sacrificial fucking king of the muck, right, of the crap, but he got to lead the debauchery. Whatever Quasimodo wanted, if he wanted to have sex right here with that, with them, with whoever the fuck he wanted to, he got it. If he wanted to get drunk all the fucking time, he got it. If he wanted the good food, good fucking drink, he got it. And he got to lead the parties, lead the parades. He was the one that established the celebrations. And usually he was appointed by the king. So the king actually had like little guidelines and shit for them. And if they wound up breaking the rule, they would get executed. Back in the Roman times where this shit came from, Saturnalia, some of the other fucking things, they would execute the motherfucker regardless. So you're king, but for a month. After the month, you die. So there's three different Christmases that we're talking about here. There's the Christ Mass of medieval England. There's the Saturnalia, Sol Invictus combination of Constantine. And then we got today's Christmas, right? So today's Christmas has a lot of those elements to it, but add the American commercialistic fucking perspective, add Santa Claus and the reindeer and what the fuck? Jesus was born today, and then Santa Claus, the big guy in a red suit in the North Pole, flies around with the 8 fucking flying reindeer. We know reindeer don't fly, but fuck it, who cares? We'll just lie to everybody anyways. Nah, there's flying fucking reindeer everywhere. They fly in, they're fucking reindeer. That's who they are, a bunch of flying fucking reindeer. What do you mean that shit doesn't make sense? And then on Christmas Day, he drops down the chimney in everybody's houses, even people that don't have chimneys. Maybe he comes up through the vent, right? He just makes himself real small. You've seen the Santa Claus of Tim Allen, right? He can just shrink himself into the tiniest of spots, comes in your house, eats the cookies and drinks the milk, and then drops the fucking presents. That's all because a baby Jesus was born. What? Yeah, the Easter Bunny. What are you talking about? The Easter Bunny lays rabbit eggs because of Jesus. Okay, that makes fucking sense. Are you sure there's no pagan fucking origins? Nope. Nope. Not only, this is Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron says not only did Christians not steal and take Christmas from the pagans, in fact, it was the pagans that took Christmas from them. Really? Really, Kirk Cameron? So the fucking 8 flying reindeer, right? That has nothing to do with the fucking Scandinavian religions. The fucking Santa Claus has nothing to do with Saturn and, you know, Father Time, Father Christmas with the long beard and shit. That has nothing to do with it, right? No connection whatsoever. Kirk Cameron, you are a washed up piece of shit. Fuck you, Kirk Cameron. He's Saving Christmas, the worst fucking movie ever created. So Quasimodo, there's 3 Christmases. There's the American Christmas, there's the Christmas during medieval times, and then there's the Christmas of the ancient Roman times. Okay? So the Christmas of the medieval times, I really wanted to expound upon because while there's, you know, the sacrificing is kind of fucked up, in a way, this is a good way for a homeless person who has no fucking say-so to be fucking God, to be king for a day, leading all the festivities, and then they get executed, but they'll be remembered forever by being that fun-loving fucking person, right? So, I'm not saying the execution of the sacrifice is good, but the idea of inverting society, making it to be like a Haitian revolution, basically that's what the medieval England was all about. They were inverting society, and they had a mini revolution. They were having many Haitian revolutions, many French revolutions. They had a true revolution where society was turned on its head and everything was flipped around and everybody was doing things differently, right? Let's just celebrate. Yeah, we got an ordered society and that's how you fucking elite like it. But on Christmas, this is our day. And on our day, we do what the fuck we want to do. The idea of wassailing, mumming, going around, you know, the idea of using rich people's stuff. I got food, I got drink, I don't need to go use any rich people's stuff. But the idea of the solidarity to have a group of people that would go with you, and it was in Christian, you know, speak. So it wasn't, we're going to burglarize you. It's, today is Christmas, the day of the Lord. We'll sing a carol, we'll sell some fucking fruits or whatever, but we want you to give us more for our, you know, than the fair share. We're not selling, you know, like trick or treat. Give us a treat or we'll fuck you up. And so the solidarity of that type of day, the idea of inverting the social order, the idea of the rich actually being nice to the poor, that don't happen in America. It would be fun as fuck to go and ride on some of these tractors and combines that I see every fucking day. That would be a nice time. That would be interesting. You know, that'd be a good time. Enjoy people's stuff, you know, that we don't have. And especially for the poor and for the homeless. I wouldn't say I'm poor. I'm also not middle class. So, I don't know, I'm kind of in between those. But the idea that the French, or the rich actually would take care of other people and you could use their shit, that's a fucking good day. That's a fun fucking time, right? Here's Sol Invictus, the unconquered sun. Oh, he's mean. I saw lots of pictures that actually look like this. I wonder if that's how Sol Invictus was actually drawn, with a man's face, a skull, and growling, right? Look at that. That actually looks like the sun off of Mario, right? It would spin around and then it would try to attack you while you're running through the desert sands. So, Sol Invictus, here, the birth of the unconquered sun. The sun cannot be fucking conquered. It hasn't been conquered for 2,000 years. The sun, it gives us evidence every fucking day that it exists. I heard a Christian being like, I don't know if the sun's going to come up tomorrow or not. Fuck you. That was like 10 years ago. The sun's come up every fucking day since you told me that. And how can you base or have any long-term projections for your life if you don't even know if the sun's going to come up tomorrow? Fuck you. The sun actually coming up is one of the greatest things that happen for all of life, but it's also one of the constants. You can definitely predict what time the sun is going to rise, what time the sun is going to come down. And so that's a great fucking thing. The sun has had an incredible longevity. They're real. It happens every fucking day. So, you know, I hate the stupid shit that some of these assholes, they're brainwashed, they're stupid, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they just make up a bunch of crazy, dumb shit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I don't know if the sun is going to rise tomorrow, but I know for sure that Jesus, the Christ, and the Holy Spirit and God was all one and three individuals separately. I know that for sure. Every Christian, you can sit there and say you got faith and that's all you need is faith and shit. They all look both ways before they cross the street. Just have faith. Just cross the fucking interstate. Just go cross it. Why not? Yeah, because it's not just faith. You actually got some reason to you. So the cult of Sol Invictus. Here's the king of the fools, right? The lord of misrule, the king of the slaves. You know, he's not sacrificed, but being humiliated. He's not the great king, you know, that Quasimodo had once thought that he was. The Wicker Man. This is a movie, a British mystery horror film. Actually, this should be the idea of Christmas and the idea of being an iconoclaster isn't just to smash everybody's icons and, you know, what they idolize, their golden calves. The golden calf should be smashed, but if you want to be stupid and fucking worship a golden calf, a fucking guy on a cross, or what the fuck ever you want to do, that's up to you. You want to be Jewish? That's fine. I'm not Hitler. I'm not trying to sit there and say we should make religion and the dumb shit people do illegal. What I am saying is that religion is fucking stupid, and if you're a smart person, you wouldn't even engage in this shit. So, just logically. Also, you know, the idea of family comes together, holiday spirit and shit, it's tradition, blah, blah, blah. So, another thing that what I have to do is remake and redo and have my own celebrations and my own, you know, my own type of rituals. That's rooted in science, that's rooted in, you know, love and camaraderie, all the same wonderful elements of these great holidays without the religious fucking stink, without the taint of the fucking religion on it. Okay? Or the taint of the fucking Cromnibus bill. You know? Mitch McConnell said he was going to fuck America, and that's his plan, right? He's going to fuck America up, and then you stupid ass dumb fucking Kentuckians didn't give a shit, didn't fucking vote, ain't going to try to do shit. Y'all just going to be dumb fucking, you know, I don't even want to fucking get into it. But Mitch McConnell's his entire thing is he's going to try to destroy the country, blame it on the Democrats, and then get reelected. And so far it's fucking worked. Fucking worked like a damn dream, right? Shit all over the country. Fucking try to make America fail, and then the American people will fucking reelect you because they're dumb as fuck. Hey, you've been a dictator for 36 years? You're the Mubarak? We love Mubaraks around here. We're fucking Nazis around here. Why? I bet it's got something to do with religion. But The Wicker Man is sort of like the, Paul Giovanni's actually composed the soundtrack, which is fucking amazing. The Wicker Man is kind of like the Fools, the Feast of Fools. And that's when you become the king of the slaves was during the Feast of Fools. And so he's kind of like that. He goes to this fucking island. They're sitting there worshiping a bunch of Celtic gods. He's a Christian, but eventually winds up getting sacrificed or something. I don't know. It's like a cult classic. So check it out. The Wicker Man. That might be a good fucking tradition, right? Hey, on Christmas we watch The Wicker Man. The Feast of Fools. That's when you would have, you know, the Lord of Misrule, the king of the king of fools, and the king of the slaves. You know, the Quasimodos would be elevated, and then they would be sacrificed. That was during the Feast of Fools, during medieval England's time. So Oliver Cromwell's England, Parliament stopped the celebration of Christmas in 1647. Oliver Cromwell is a Puritan. He's a Puritan. So the Puritans, they chopped the heads of the king off, right? Had a glorious revolution. I think that's this time. And then Oliver Cromwell says, fuck your Christmas. Fuck all your stupid ass fucking bullshit. We're the ones that dictate what your rituals are. And so fuck Christmas. Oliver Cromwell hated Christmas. George Washington hated Christmas. Otto van Bismarck hated Christmas. And the fucking Puritan pilgrims hated fucking Christmas. There's been a war on Christmas for a long ass fucking time. Bill O'Reilly, you willing to fucking throw down with the damn Puritans? The Puritans who genocided and killed all them fucking people? You just sat there and defended Thanksgiving. You're going to defend Thanksgiving and then sit there and say everything that the Pilgrims and the Puritans were all about was totally fucking wrong? You're the biggest fucking hypocrite I've ever fucking seen. Fuck all you superstitious, tyrannical, fucking hypocritical, lying, ignorant motherfuckers. That's my morality right there. Fuck the superstition, fuck the ignorance, fuck the lying, fuck the hypocrites, and fuck tyranny. Fuck your oppression. Fuck you ordering me around like a bitch. I'm not a goddamn slave. I'm not a fucking slave. You don't understand that? Well, go fuck yourself. Because either if you don't understand that, then that means you a slave or you a massa. You only understand hierarchy. You don't understand any fucking thing else. So the state of Massachusetts similarly banned Christmas from 1659 to 1683. So they weren't going to go to the gallows, but it was a $100 fine. It was a speeding ticket. Don't you be merry. Don't you show a smile. Don't you give gifts out. Don't you dare. Don't you dare have fun on this fucking day. You go to work just like everybody else and you fucking love it. You love the fact that you're a fucking slave and you fucking love it. Don't you take Christmas off, and if you work, you definitely don't get double time or triple time. You get the same time that you get for everything else. So, by around 1600, Christmas time saw groups of Britons taken to the streets with wassail bowls loaded with strong drink to fuel both merriment and mischief. These people would disguise themselves, put on masks or cross-dress, right? Cross-dress, men and women switching their dress, putting on masks. This is all very much Halloweenish, right? Go door to door, demanding of the wealthy to be let in and given food, drink, and in some cases, money. Give me fucking money, rich man. No, give me money. That'd be fun on Halloween, right? Money or trick. Money or I'm gonna fuck up your shit. Nah, money or I'm gonna fuck up your shit. Now fuck your stupid little candy bars. I want some goddamn money. So that's a Christmas tradition, right? 1600, England, medieval England, 1600s. The revelers also filled the air with songs that did more than wish their listeners a Merry Christmas. If you search through the old wassail songs, you could clearly see this ritual was a form of trick or treat, but between the classes rather than between the young and the old. The songs often wished a Merry Christmas and good health, demanded entry to the homes, demanded beer, food, featured a final verse to be sung only if needed. If you don't want to get us what we want, there's going to be trouble. As one of the set of lyrics ran, we have come to claim our right. If you don't open up your door, we'll lay you flat upon the floor. So not a great the fucking song or whatever, not really a lyricist, not Eminem shit, but you don't open up your door, we're gonna lay you flat on the floor, motherfucker. Open your door, let us eat and drink your fucking stuff, because the rich had the best stuff out there, right? You had to fucking drink shit water and get fucking cholera. Who the fuck wants to drink shit water and get cholera when you could just drink some ale and drink some of the wonderful spices that Chris Columbus helped fucking, break through the Turks or whatever. What was that story again? That fucking myth. Christmas riots. There's been riots several fucking years. There's a Christmas related incident and riot occurred in U.S. cities, particularly an 1828 riot, which eventually saw the institution of the police force. So that's fucking great. The police are here to catch the runaway slaves, right? The Fugitive Slave Act. That sets the relationship between black folks and the police. You run off the slave and you say, hey, I'm a man. I'm not a fucking slave, bitch-ass piece of shit. Fuck you. And they'll fucking kick your ass and they'll fucking send you back and you'll get lashed 50 fucking times. Also, the police in New York City was created to stop Christmas. You want to talk about a war on Christmas? The New York Police Department. They was another one of the originators of the war on Christmas. So we're getting quite a list here. We got Chief Plunkey, we got George Washington, Otto Van Bismarck, the Puritans, and now we got the New York Police Department declaring war on Christmas. So, Bill O'Reilly, I don't know what the fuck you were talking about, man. Everybody loves fucking Christmas. War on Christmas? You're the assholes. If you get mad about somebody saying happy holiday, you're an asshole. Not only are you not like Christ, what part of the Bible was that? Christ says, if doth say happy holidays, then doth shall be an asshole. If doth does not say Merry Christmas on a day that we never said that Jesus was born and we never said to celebrate, then you have a right to be a dick. Right? Corinthians 21:43, right? That's right there in the fucking Bible, right? That's clearly there. Fuck you. You Christians don't listen to the Bible. You have no fucking moral core. You're a bunch of fucking assholes. You're a bunch of brainwashed fucking dickheads who sit there and think that you're morally superior when you're fucking stupid and you're evil. So America's ruling class has put an end to such shenanigans by using both a carrot and a stick. Stick was legislation, policing, and generally cracked down on misbehavior. The carrot was devising an alternative set of Christmas rituals. I don't know what they're talking about there. This guy had a whole fucking thing, a whole book that he read. But here's another part of the same shit that I've been talking about. The Puritans understood another thing too. Much of the seasonal excess that took place at Christmas was not merely chaotic disorder, but behavior that took a profoundly ritualized form. Most fundamentally, right, this is a ritual. Having a feast of fools and dressing differently, going to your neighbor's house, using the rich people's stuff. This was a ritual. This is what they did every year. So this year, you know, Christmas in America is about buying gifts, having a fucking German, you know, a pagan fucking tree up in your house, Protestant, Martin Luther, who the fuck knows, right? You basically, you cut down the live evergreen tree and you put it in your house and you gather around it and you say, you know, kumbaya, what the fuck ever. You know what the fuck the modern day Christmas is, but they got certain rituals. There's mass, you know, there's visiting of families and shit. Rituals, things that happen on a routine basis. So the rituals back then wasn't any of that shit. The rituals was going around and wassailing. And wassail was like a type of drink, a really expensive drink, which I'm going to get to here in a minute. So the Puritans understood another thing too. Much of the seasonal excess that took place at Christmas was not merely chaotic disorder, but behavior that took a profoundly ritualized form. Most fundamentally, Christmas was an occasion when the social hierarchy itself was symbolically turned upside down, in a gesture that inverted designated roles of gender, age, and class. During the Christmas season, those near the bottom of society acted high and mighty. Men might dress like women, women might dress and act like men, young people might imitate and mock their elders. For example, a boy might be chosen bishop and then take on for a brief time some of the real bishop's authority. I'm the bishop, and I tell you to fucking pray right now, motherfucker. Give me some indulgences. You're a sinner, and you give me fucking $100 or else you'll go to hell. I'm a bishop. A peasant or an apprentice might become lord of misrule and mimic the authority of a real gentleman, right? Oh, apprentice might become lord of misrule, mimic the authority of a real gentleman. So as long as you acted kingly, right? You're king of the fools, so you got to wear a fucking king's fucking robe and the crown, and you're happy like Quasimodo, doing all your fucking sinning and all your criminality, you know, all your fucking debased revelry, all your smiling, you know, all that fucking merrymaking, and to mimic the authority of a real gentleman. Increase Mather, which is his name, explained with an anthropologist's clarity, he believed to be the origins of the practice. In the Saturnalian days, masters did wait upon their servants. So where did the inversion of the Christ Mass in medieval, where did that shit come from? Saturnalia. In Saturnalia, the masters waited upon their servants. Society was flipped upside down. Masters, you know, waited on their servants. The Gentiles called Saturn's time the golden age because in it there was no servitude. In commemoration whereof on his festival, servants must be masters. This practice, like so many others, was simply picked up and transposed to Christmas when those who were low in station became masters of the misrule, right? Lords of misrule, fucking lord of the slaves. To this day in the British Army, today, 2014, in the British Army on December 25th, the officers are obliged at meals to wait upon the enlisted men. So on Christmas, the fucking masses, the masters, give food to their slaves, to their soldier slaves. So that's that was Nienbaum. That was a really good fucking author. Actually, he's got a whole pamphlet here. Stephen W. Nessenbaum, Christmas in early New England, 1620 to 1820. Puritanism, popular culture, and the printed word. Check him out, Nissenbaum. He's got a lot of fucking good shit out here. So what is this wassailing people keep talking about? Most notably, me, Jonathan Daniel Masters. What does wassailing come from? So, according to Wikipedia, being interpreted by yours truly, the author, the narrator, Jonathan Daniel Masters, Gripschover of the Wolf and Panther tribe, straight out of Bavaria, straight out of Bohemia in Africa. Wassailing is, you know, it was sort of the trick or treat thing, right? It falls into two distinct categories: the house visiting and something else. So the tradition of wassailing, they don't know where it goes back. It has connections to the Anglo-Saxons. So that's the English of today, right? But the Anglo-Saxons originally actually came out of Germany. The Anglo-Saxons became their own fucking English fucking snobby selves that we know of today. But the Anglo-Saxons originally were from Germany. But the Anglo-Saxons were the Puritans. The English-speaking Anglo-Saxons were the ones, the Pilgrims, the Puritans, the ones who colonized America. the Germans and the Irish eventually come in the 1800s when my ancestors got here. So we kind of missed all the fucking slavery and the genociding of the Native Americans. That was all the Anglo-Saxon, English-speaking Protestants who was sitting there murdering all the Native Americans and enslaving all the black folks. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, West Hales Middle English, I don't know. So the toast has become synonymous with Christmas, but since Christianity gradually replaced the indigenous Anglo-Saxon religion around the 7th and 8th centuries, there's no evidence that the traditional ceremony of Wassailin is Christian in origin. So we just don't know where the origin is. Traditionally, the Wassail is celebrated on the 12th night, most regarded as January 6th, but more properly the evening of January 5th. Right? 12 days of Christmas. Starting from Christmas, then we got 12 days. However, most people insist on Wassailin on Old Twelvey night, as would have been the correct date before the introduction of the Gregorian calendar, 1752. In the Middle Ages, the wassail was a reciprocal exchange between the feudal lords and their peasants as a form of recipient initiated charitable giving to be distinguished from begging. This point is made in the song Here We Come a Wassailin'. When the wassailers inform the lord of the house that we are not daily beggars that beg from door to door, but we're friendly neighbors who you've seen before. The lord of the manor would give food and drink to the peasants in exchange for their blessing and goodwill. Oh, I'll give you all my blessings. Oh, goodwill to you. Blessings and goodwill to you. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. That last part don't even rhyme. I don't even know what they're doing with that. But. So wassailing, right? We already learned that wassailing is sort of like Halloween trick-or-treating. There's another here which actually defines wassailing way better than what I just now described. Saturnalia is the real roots of Christmas. Hey, let's keep the Saturn in Saturnalia. Saturday, let's bring, oh, here's the pictures of Saturnalia. So here's the drunken debauchery, the orgy to end all orgies, right? Everybody naked, dancing, drinking. Looks like there's a centaur, right? You invite all your centaurs, your half horse, half man friends. Looks like there's a donkey of some sort. I don't know what the donkey is doing. They're riding the donkey, right? Naked. They're all naked, dancing, just having a big old fucking party. Which actually all this seems innocuous. Just the criminality that seems like that's a little fucked up, right? So maybe it was just more about merrymaking and not so much about criminality. But the way I hear about Saturnalia, it was just a fucked up, debased fucking event, right? It's what the Romans love to engage in. It's what they fucking did, and that's the they did that on January or December 21st, right? The winter solstice, and that's what Constantine took away and tried to cover up with Christmas Day, 325 AD. So. Keep Saturn and Saturnalia. Here's another Saturnalia fucking event. You see a bunch of nakedness and food, shit poured over, people lying about, just kind of enjoying themselves. Here's a guy, sort of making, jokes and fucking, I don't know what he's doing, but here's another guy giving, I guess, him some fucking water or some shit. Here's two men, right, embracing each other. Is that just friendship? Everybody's naked, right? This man is naked, right? So, just the orgy to end all orgies. That's Saturnalia, and that's Christmas. So, Merry fucking Christmas. Yeah, don't have a war on Christmas. Let's keep Saturnalia going. Let's keep Saturnalia going, right, you fucking assholes? And then you have, some of the stuff I don't mind, but the other stuff is fucked up, right? So, the medieval Christ Mass is my favorite. The worshiping of the sun's important, but I'm not going to worship it, right? It's going to keep on burning regardless of what I say and do. I don't need to pay homage to the fucking sun, right? I need to respect the sun, so maybe I should be like, hey, Mr. Sun, thank you for shining all that bright light and giving life on Earth. Thank you for doing that, Mr. Sun. And then the Earth, hey, thank you for allowing us to have an atmosphere and letting us grow. Mr. Earth, you all right, Mr. Earth. You're okay. You're all right in my book, Mr. Earth. You're all right in my book, Mr. Sun. You quite all right. So, okay, wassailing. Here's something about wassailing. All right, here we go. So wassailing is a very ancient custom that is rarely done today. The word wassail, which is really, we need to bring wassailing back in, because I don't know if Christ Mass will stick around. When I typed in Christ Mass, I couldn't find nothing in Google. I saw it on a documentary. So maybe we should say the medieval times when wassailing was a practice. And also Lord of Misrule, right? The king of misrule, the lord of the slaves. These are all the terms that we can use in order to find about this medieval practice. So if you're Googling, you're trying to find out any information about this, type in wassailing and then type in Lord of Misrule, and you'll be able to find some information that way. It's hard to find because this isn't known to everybody, but the information is out there. So it'll just take a little bit of reading, but this is a head start for you. Type in wassailing and then type in Lord of Misrule. So what is wassailing? Wassailing is ancient custom that's rarely done today. Kind of done, right, with Halloween, but not really. So the word wassail comes from the Anglo-Saxon phrase wassail, which means good health, right? So wassailing, hey, good health for everybody. Originally, the wassail was a drink. And this is the important part. What is a wassail? Well, wassail was a drink. You know, when they asked to eat the fucking owner's food and drink, they wanted some wassail. Hey, you got some wassail? And actually, maybe that's another tradition that we could have for Christmas. So you got, watch The Wicker Man, right? And then, and make some wassail. Some wassail, the way this is, at least, I don't know where the information got here, but here's a recipe for wassail. Holy shit. So, exciting, exciting. Okay, so originally the wassail was a drink made of mulled ale, curdled cream, roasted apples, eggs, cloves, ginger, nutmeg, and sugar. And I'll say it again because I like all those things. So, except for curdled cream. I mean, is that like fucking old milk or something? Mulled ale, which I don't even really know what ale is, to be honest. Is that like drank from apples or something? I don't know. I've drank an ale before. I don't know really where it comes from. But mulled ale, curdled cream, roasted apples, eggs, cloves, ginger, nutmeg, sugar. It sounds like it could be a nice drink. The eggs, I'm not for sure. I guess that thickens it up. Eggnog, is that where eggnog comes from? Mulled ale, is that alcohol? Curdled cream, is that cheese? Roasted apples, eggs, cloves, ginger, nutmeg, sugar. All those things I understand. Those are spices. Cloves, ginger, nutmeg, delicious spices, sugar makes it sweeter. So sort of an apple drink, an apple ale cream egg drink. So let's go wassailing. Let's drink some wassail, put some alcohol in it, and then let's go wassailing neighbor to neighbor and try to drive all their tractors and use their fucking big screen TVs and play on their fucking Xboxes. That's not even rich stuff. I mean, I am so fucking out of touch with what rich people do. Let's eat their fucking caviar. Let's drink their damn, you know, what the fuck? There's no food and drink. Caviar, right? Eat caviar, drink their, oh yeah, what's that one, drink that black people really like? Oh, what is that drink? Someone said it tastes like Christmas. Ah, shit. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to sit here for a second and think about it. The drink, not black people, but a lot of rappers talk about Hennessy. So Hennessy, right? Drink people's Hennessy. Actually, maybe get the Doja, right? That'd be some fucking fun shit. Get the fucking pounds of Doja. Get all the damn drugs, right? Get some poppies and some of the fucking mescaline. Let's have a mescaline day on Christmas where you just have, you know, just take all the rich people's, go to Rush Limbaugh and steal all his Oxycontin and just have a fun day of doing Rush Limbaugh's Oxycontin. I guess yachts, Lamborghinis, their fancy cars and shit. So use their expensive machines, just machines in general, just a combine and sort of a cultivator, shit like that. I don't see enough of these machines around, and so I would enjoy just driving a cultivator all day. What are you doing? Oh, driving a cultivator. Driving my for Christmas, I'm gonna drive my neighbor's cultivator all over the fucking place. I'll pay for the gas even. Shit, I'm not even gonna be like, you know, a homeless fucking peasant, you know, medieval England. But I like the fucking, I like the ritual. I like the fucking idea of rich people giving a shit about poor people. Today, the rich are insulated. They have their picket fence fucking, you know, gated communities. and they're basically, you know, the wealthy elite people. They got nice fucking houses. If you gotta live amongst the fucking poor, you know, the rabble and shit, they're gonna rob you because you don't have fucking, you know, a goddamn cameras and steel barred fucking windows and having somebody on guard at the premises 24 fucking hours. But the rich people, they got a big ass house and shit way far out in the middle of nowhere. They don't even have to worry about the fucking rabble fucking you over. The fucking living in poor areas, you gotta worry about the rabble, fucking poor criminals, and you gotta worry about the police, because neither one of them fuckers give a shit about you. So for those people, those folks, they would enjoy, I think, a nice fucking feast, right? Just a nice fucking dinner doing the old time wassailing. But anyways, I like the idea that the rich and the poor can, you know, come together in some sort of way and acknowledge their differences in their class structure, and then, you know, go back to the fucking wage slaves that they are at fucking McDonald's. So the wassail drink mixture is sometimes called the lamb's wool because the pulp of the roasted apples looked all frothy and a bit like lamb's wool. So let's drink some wassail. Let's get some lamb's wool. That's just gross. Who the fuck wants to drink lamb's wool? Jesus College and Oxford University has a wassail bowl that is covered with silver. It can hold 10 gallons of drink. Wassailing was traditionally done on New Year's Eve and 12th night, but some rich people drank wassail on all the 12 days of Christmas. So they were drinking this. Is that alcohol? I don't know. Why are you drinking it all throughout Christmas? It's just a nice drink. You know, you just any nice drink out here. I like a good sweet tea, right? You make some sweet tea, delicious. That's a good drink. I ain't fucking I'm not greedy, and just a nice, you know, man, I made this bomb-ass fucking teriyaki chicken, and just teriyaki chicken and rice, you know, teriyaki chicken and some fucking beans. That's a good meal for me. I don't need your fucking food and shit. So let's dream bigger. Come on, people, celebrators of Christ's Mass. Let's dream bigger. Let's fly fucking helicopters. Let's fly fucking, you know, F-15 fucking jets and shit. You know, let's control an oil rig. You know, let's dig real fucking deep down into the fucking ground. Let's do some big time shit. Now that's the type of fucking poor peasants I want to be around. So, a legend about how wassailing was created. The beautiful Saxon maiden named Rowena presented Prince Vortigern with a bowl of wine while toasting him with the words, "West Hail." Over the centuries, a great deal of ceremony developed around the custom of drinking wassail. The bowl was carried into a room with great fanfare. So it's like a big punch bowl, right? Here's a big silver fucking bowl with all this nice drink. Why wouldn't alcohol be put into it? Is ale alcoholic? I gotta look that up. Ale. Is it alcoholic? I don't think so. I've drank ginger ale and there was no alcohol in it. And then from this developed into another way of saying Merry Christmas to one another. One of the most popular wassailing carols went like this. Here we come a-sailing among the leaves so green. Here we come a-sailing so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year. So mumming is also another thing. So these are two terms you can learn about Christmas. Wassailing and mumming. Mumming is it's making a diversion in disguise. So they were wearing masks and they were switching each other's clothing, right? Being cross-dressers. It's an ancient pagan custom. An excuse for people to have a party at Christmas. The tradition was men and women would swap clothes, put masks on, go visit their neighbors, singing, dancing, and putting on a play with a silly plot. Oh, that sounds fun. Go around and putting on plays for each other. Here's the fucking, the story of Christmas, right? First started out with Saturn, and the god of Saturn was drinking the blood of the children, and then Christians said, hey, let's honor that holiday. The leader narrator of the mummers was dressed as Father Christmas, right? Mr. Saturn himself with a long-ass beard. Mr. Santa Claus fucking drinking the blood out of fucking children, right? Now let's actually go to the original pagan customs, right? Just have fucking Saturnalia, right? Go to your neighbor's house and have Saturnalia. Go to your neighbor's house and just start worshiping the sun, all right? I don't know, Christ Mass. I think we can... There's a lot of mixture of elements in the history of Christmas. I think we can pick the best things out of it and actually create a badass fucking holiday. Devoid of any type of religious fucking bullshit. Fuck the whole idea of Christ being the day of Jesus' birth. Jesus never even existed. So how the fuck can you say something that didn't exist had a birthday? The Saturn The birth of Saturn was also on December 25th. Really? A fucking mythological fucking god's got a birthday? The sun's birthday is on December 25th. What day was the sun fucking born? Are you sure there was calendars around during the Big Bang? Are you sure about this? I don't know. I don't know if there really are birthdays for mythological fucking gods. You want to know why I don't fucking believe in your religion? Tell me why you don't believe in Islam, and then I'll use the same fucking arguments for your fucking religion. What, Islam is a fucking pagan, heathen, fucking going to hell type of religion? Okay, that's your shit too. Believing in a bunch of fucking bullshit. So, the custom of mumming. So, mumming is just going for... Mumming sounds so much fun. Mumming, you go have a play for your neighbors. They have a play for you. It makes me think of Beyonce. Actually, Beyonce would put on these shows in her home, and she would charge her friends $5 to come watch. So, that'd be fun to have a Christmas fucking play. You know, get dressed up. You know, get into a pretend type of mode. Pretending, imagination. Put on mask. Go visit neighbors, singing, dancing. Putting on a play with a silly plot, right? That's fun times. The custom of mumming might go back to Roman times when people used to dress up for parties at New Year's. Thought that in the UK it's first done on St. Thomas's Day. I don't know. So that's mumming, right? A poem that people said when mumming was, Christmas is coming, the beef is getting fat. Please drop a penny in the old man's hat. All right, that just sounds like it's fucking bumming. But here's the interesting time. In medieval times, it turned into an excuse for people to go begging around the houses and committing crimes. Same shit with wassailing, right? Wassailing's basically committing crimes and shit. Mumming sounds like it was fun until the crimes. It became so bad. Mumming became so bad. Switching people's clothes, putting on masks, going to their fucking house. That Henry VIII, right? The great Henry VIII that killed all of his fucking wives because he wanted to be in compliance with the church. You're not going to annul my marriage? Well, now she's dead. You know, so that means I'm free out of this marriage now, right? You can't make me be married to someone who's dead. So Henry VIII made a law saying anyone that was caught mumming, wearing a mask, would be put in prison for 3 months. So wearing a mask, wearing a Guy Fawkes mask today is still fucking illegal, right? You can't wear a mask today without going to fucking prison. Maybe not for 3 months or some shit, but what the fuck? Medieval fucking England was there. They had it going on, man. They was doing some fun shit. The early settlers from the UK took the custom of mumming to Canada, and it's known as murmuring in Canada, but it's banned in most places because people use it as an excuse to beg, right? Well, you know what the fuck? Beg. Who gives a shit? If you're poor enough to fucking beg, you need some help anyways. Mumming is still done in parts of the UK, USA, and Canada. So here's the recipe. You get 2 liters of dry cider, root of ginger, 6 cloves, blade of mace, nutmeg, coriander seeds, cardamom seed, sugar, lemon, water, egg yolks, 6 small cooking apples, and demerara sugar. So that's the metric system, and then the imperial. We're the fucking imperialists, ain't we? Yeah, we still using the imperialist fucking metrics. Fucking imperialist fucking system, man. The metrics is scientific. Metric system is all divisible by 10. 12 fucking inches in a foot. What the fuck is that? Did we just measure a king's foot and say, there, that is what a fucking standard deviation for what a foot is? The size of King Henry VIII's foot. Why the fuck are we still measuring the standard of King Henry VIII's fucking foot? Bruise the ginger. Okay, so that's how you can make some wassail juice. Maybe make up your own fucking punch. You know, call it wassail. Have some apples and shit and ginger. Here's a quote. Actually, English Bishop Hugh Latimer, whose Protestant Church of England kept Christmas, said that men dishonor Christ more in the 12 days of Christmas than in all 12 months besides. So this is the reasons why the Puritans outlawed the celebration in England and in New England in the 1600s. Fuck you fucking Christmas lovers. That's what the American Puritan Pilgrim colonists, they said, fuck your Christmas. Which is fucked up. We just celebrated things. We do 2 stupid ass fucking holidays back to back. And the people who celebrated or started Thanksgiving would be 100% against the fucking Christmas religion. That's really fucked up. You know? The Pilgrims. Let's celebrate the Pilgrims. Now let's celebrate a fucking holiday they hated. Why did we celebrate the Pilgrims? And if we're going to celebrate the holidays they hated, hell, If we celebrate holidays they hated, maybe the Pilgrims were fucking wrong in all that they did. Maybe we should celebrate everything they hated and piss on everything they liked. Similar laws held sway in New England long after restoration of the monarchy in 1660 reestablished Christmas in the mother country. The Puritans chafed under the early church's decision to capitalize on the pre-existence of the pagan Saturnalia and selecting December 25th as the date for Christmas. In 16th century bishop, he says that men dishonor Christ more in the 12 days of Christmas than all the 12 months besides. Boston divine Cotton Mather wrote in 1712 that the feast of Christ's nativity is spent in reveling, dicing. So this is the shit that the fucking Puritans hated, right? Reveling, which is what? Merrymaking, smiling, being happy, dicing, playing with dice, carding, playing cards, masking, and all licentious liberty by mad mirth, by long eating, by hard drinking, by lewd gaming, by rude reveling. All that sounds like really fucking good stuff. Drinking, eating, gaming, dicing, cards, wearing masks, licentious liberty. Wow, that sounds fucking fun. What the fuck are you against about this? I didn't see the bad thing in that list of shit that you just said. In Massachusetts, seafaring communities like Nantucket and the town of Marblehead continued particularly notorious celebrations despite the officials' best efforts to quash Christmas observance throughout the colony. So the man from Nantucket was still celebrating Christmas in spite of you fucking Puritans. The Marblehead, same fucking thing. Historian Stephen Nissenbaum recounts an instance of Christmas keeping in the 17th century Massachusetts as an example of a wassailin' gone very bad. Christmas night, 1679, 4 young men in the village of Salem, right, where they burning witches, entered the house of the septuagenarian John Rowden, I don't even know what that is, who is known to make pear wine called Perry from trees in his orchard. So he's making pear wine. That fucking sounds delicious, right? Make alcoholic, alcohol can be made from anything. Wheat, fucking barley, grapes, pears. So Rowden refused and asked the intruders to leave. They came back and fucked up his whole place. So that's something of wassailing, right? Some type of wassailing. The ordermen meant tearing pots. Okay, so they came back. They threw stones and bones and other things at pool in the doorway against the house. They beat down much of the dabbling in several places. Continued to throw stones for an hour and a half with little intermission. They also broke down about a pole and a half of fence, being stone wall and a cellar without the house, distant about 4 or 5 rods. Was broken open through the door, and 5 or 6 pecks of apples were stolen. So, that's the sort of criminality that can come out of wassailing. If the rich don't fucking be nice to the poor, you're going to get fucked up. So again, it's inverted. Christmas was a time of inversionary carnival, right? It's a carnival. You're electing the fucking king of the slaves during the Feast of the Fools. You're wassailing, you're mumming. You're going around just enjoying the fucking holiday spirit. You're invoking Saturnalia. You're invoking the cult of Sol Invictus. You're invoking Christ Mass out of medieval fucking Europe. You're saying fuck the Puritans. Fuck George Washington. Fuck Otto von Bismarck. Fuck the LM, the NYPD, and everybody else that want to say fuck no to Christmas. Nah, we're going to get Christmas, and we're going to have the best goddamn Christmas ever. Devoid of fucking religion, where the poor get the shit that they want, and there's equality, a leveling that takes place. That's the Christmas. 12 days of partying and dancing and having fun. That's the Christmas spirit. And pissing all over the fucking Puritan bastards. All the stuck-up fucking, I'm better than you because I'm more, fucking prudish. You're better than us because you don't even smile. You're not fucking better than us. So they said it's an invented tradition fusing middle class domestic. Okay, that's Christmas now. A time of inversionary carnival when custom allowed a season of misrule during which peasant and artisan were emboldened virtually to challenge their betters to expect the distribution of the best of the house to Roman wassailers. And suppressed by Puritan reformers. So this is more just explaining where, Christ Mass, where all this, why were the Puritans, why'd they hate fucking Christmas? Because of wassailing, because of mumming. because they didn't like the Feast of the Fools. They didn't like the Lord of Misrule. So, according to Stephen Nessenbaum, the author I just read, Christmas season was an occasion when the social hierarchy was symbolically turned upside down, a gesture that inverted designated roles of gender, age, and class. The poor, often groups of young men, claimed the right to enter the houses of the rich and to receive food and drink. The well-to-do had to let them in to hold open house. Christmas in the 16 and 1700s was a period of rowdiness, loudness, public drinking, and feasting, far from the private domestic Christmas that emerged later on. Here's Christmas. Some groups, such as the Puritans, condemned the celebration of Christmas, considered it a Catholic invention, and has all the trappings of the popery or the rags of the beast. It was satanic. It was popery. Goddamn Catholics with their fucking Christian. But wait, I thought Martin Luther actually come up with the Christmas tree. Fucking who cares? Let's just be fucking asshole fucking prudish fucking dicks. Now, we have no fun. We don't smile. We're a bunch of fucking assholes. We're good people. In contrast, the established Anglican Church pressed for a more elaborate observance of feast, penitential seasons, and saints' days. The calendar reform became a major point of tension between the Anglican Party and the Puritan Party. The Catholic Church also responded, promoting the festival in a more religiously oriented form. King Charles I of England directed his noblemen and gentry to return to their landed estates in midwinter to keep up the old-style Christmas generosity. Fascinating. There's going to be wassailing. Rich people get back to your houses and make sure the poor are fucking happy. Take care of them damn poor. They work for you all fucking year. Now you take care of them. You let them fucking drink the wassail. You let them have ale that has ginger in it. Following the parliamentary victory over Charles I during the English Civil War, England's Puritan rulers banned Christmas in 1647. Old Oliver Cromwell. Saturnalia, the real roots of Christmas. As winter approached, they were losing harvest and were in need of the sun in order for their harvest to grow and bear fruit. Saturn was the Roman god of agriculture and harvest. That meant that the god Saturn was in need of the sun god in order to complete his job. Therefore, the attention was then shifted to the sun god. Saturnalia custom is rooted in pagan and Celtic beliefs and traditions. They believed in human sacrifice, including the sacrifice of small children and infants, in which were offered to their gods. See, that shit we could cut out. You know, Saturnalia is fucked up. I already told you it's fucked up. The human sacrifice part, the killing of children. Remember the picture with Saturn sucking the blood out of children? Well, let's cut that shit out. We don't need to be sucking the blood out of children. They did it because it would give more power. It would give the sun more strength. None of that shit had any fucking, you know, it does not follow, right? Killing children does not make the sun stronger. That's stupid. You believe that stupid religious fucking bullshit? You're fucking dumb. And piss on your fucking grave, you stupid backwards motherfucker. You're gonna kill fucking kids because you're a piece of shit. No, fuck you. That shit I cannot respect. Believe your dumb shit, religious fuckers, but don't be killing fucking children. They believed that winter was due to the sun losing its power due to a battle between the sun god, the god of the dead. Since winter is annually, they believed these battles are fought annually. The sacrifices had to be made annually. So Saturnalia was December 17th to the 25th. Roman courts were closed. Roman law dictated that no one could be punished for damaging property or injuring people during the week-long celebration. So it's not just dancing and partying, it's going around punching people, hitting people, injuring people, damaging property, and nobody can be fucking punished for it. The Roman authorities chose an enemy of the Roman people to represent the Lord of Misrule. Even Roman communities selected a victim whom they forced to indulge in food and other physical pleasures throughout the week. At the festival's conclusion, December 25th, Roman authorities believed they were destroying the forces of darkness by brutally murdering the innocent men and women who they chose to replace to represent the forces of darkness. So that's the whole Lord of Misrule. That's Quasimodo. That's what the medieval fucking English were doing. They were bringing that Saturnalia back to life, back to England. And so the idea of the fucking sacrifice was to give it to their sun gods or whatever, but they're allowed to be, as you know, indulge in food, physical pleasures, go around destroying property, punching people, hitting people. I guess rape. You probably could rape anybody. You know, any fucking criminality you wanted to do it, and you only had 8 days to do it, or 7 days, and then once the end of the fucking week was over, you were fucking, your head was chopped off. So I'm gonna finish this last bit up real fast. I thought this was only gonna be a 5-minute fucking thing, but it's turning into an hour and 40 minutes. So more about the Lord of Misrule. We just saw that it was a Roman Saturnalia thing, so it actually extends from Saturnalia into medieval Europe. Quasimodo was in, you know, Paris, France. The Lord of Misrule is one of the lost characters of the riotous medieval Christmas celebration. Sometime in November, it's customary among the European peasantry to draw lots for the title of Lord of Misrule. Wearing a paper crown and motley garments, the Lord of Misrule turned the ordinary rules on their head. He was given full license to enjoy whatever pleasures he desired and to lead the others down the merry path of dalliance and delight. One can only imagine what sorts of delight prevailed, but certainly the kind that comes in a flagon? I don't know. The crowning of the Lord of Misrule is a tradition extending back to ancient times, and it was a feature of Roman Saturnalia. There's the connection. Records from as late as 3rd century suggest that the merry reign of the king of the revels came to a rather unjolly end when the chosen one was unceremoniously sacrificed on the altar of Saturn. In the Middle Ages, the tradition was revived in a more moderate form. Most sacrificial elements removed or replaced by the less barbarous practice of burning the god in effigy. So they're saying that the medieval English people weren't killing and sacrificing like they did in Saturnalia. Instead, they would just burn the god in effigy. So I guess the god of Saturn or the god of fucking sun or whatever the fuck. I thought they were Christians, so I'm not sure what god they're fucking burning in effigy. The roots of this tradition lie in the Roman festival of Saturnalia, fell during December. During this festival, there was a reversal of traditional roles, with slaves wearing fine garments, sitting at the head of the table while they were waited on upon by their masters. People ate massive quantities of food, drank a great deal, and engaged in entertainments like dancing, parades, and plays. The Lord of Misrule was allowed to order anyone to do anything, and at the end of the festival, he was sacrificed. So there's different fucking accounts. Some people are saying medieval England killed the fucking Lord of Misrule, but others are saying that they burned effigies instead. Other things that we see, they're sitting at the head of the table. They get to wear fine garments or waited upon by their masters. They got to eat food, drink lots, and entertainment, dance, parades, plays, and he could order anybody to do anything. When the Lord of Misrule is designated, he can order anybody to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. He's the king. He's the god. He's the main fucking man. That's why monarchs are such fucking bullshit, right? You can order anybody to do anything? Well, he's the king, of course. No, that's fucking horse shit. Sacrificial kings who preside over debauchery can also be seen in other cultures. Saturnalia was likely practiced in England during the period of Roman occupation, and the Celts also had similar figures who presided over seasonal festivals in exchange for acting as a sacrifice to bring good fortune to the people. The year king, as he was known, was allowed to enjoy the favors of any woman and to command any favor. So it's not rape, right? You can't rape the willing if this is a fucking culture of the whole society. You just have to let the fucking king of the fools, if Quasimodo wants to fuck you and you're a woman or a man, you gotta let him fuck you. And if Quasimodo wants to demand you to bow down and call him master, you gotta do it. He fucking, you know, that's what he said for you to do. You gotta fucking do it. So, the Fool's Feast. Sadly, we still have the revelry, the merrymaking that we have with these ancient customs of the winter solstice, right? And but they've changed and become Americanized and become more. Some of the things are good that they fucking dropped. Other things I'm not so fucking happy about. You know, the criminality I don't really give a shit about, but the rich and the poor switching roles, the men and women switching roles. Could you imagine being a queen fucking female? My God, if you're a woman in America, life is just handed to you. You don't have to go out and work. You don't have to do shit. Just sit on your fucking fat ass, let some man fuck you, and he'll take care of every goddamn thing you have to do. And if you do work, people be like, look at that woman working. She is so special, right? My God, that would be amazing to have all the fucking blessings of a woman. That would be, you know, And I know that's not everybody, but it's been enough people in my fucking life, and they stole $50,000, right? These fucking stupid ass fucking bitches who want to sit there and not have a hard life and just make everybody else's life harder just because they're shitty fucking assholes. No, asshole, I'm not your slave. Sorry. I'm sorry that I fucking respected you ever, because you're just a fucking dick. So here it was actually saying that the misrule, the king of misrule, he had to do, he had to play by the rules of the king, and the king was the final arbitrator of whether or not he broke those fucking rules. And so, he can make his reign funny, memorable. He can do whatever the fuck he wants to do as long as he didn't, order like the king. He can't order the king to do whatever they want to do. So they try to put sort of restrictions and regulations. And you know how libertarians are. When you start regulating shit, then it's not the same thing. Lord of Misrule, also called Abbot of Misrule or King of Misrule, official of the late medieval and early Tudor period in England, who was specifically appointed to manage the Christmas festivities held at court, in the house of great noblemen, in the law schools of the inns of the court, and in many of the colleges at the universities of Cambridge and Oxford. So the King of Fools wasn't just an asshole that got a ton of power. He actually had a lot of fucking responsibility to do. In the schools and universities, in the fucking the government places. During his reign, which lasted anywhere from 12 days to 3 months, the Lord of Misrule was responsible for arranging and directing all Christmas entertainment, including the elaborate mask. I guess that's like the fucking what's that? Eyes wide shut, where people have these big ass orgies while wearing masks. Processions, plays, feasts. The Lord himself usually presided over these affairs with a mock court and received comic homage from the revelers. Scotland had an official similar to the Lord of Misrule, known as the Abbot of Unreason, suppressed in 1555, and both are thought by scholars to be descended from the king or bishop who presided over the earlier Feast of Fools. So both England and Scotland were doing this thing. So even though the fucking butcher tried to kill the Scots are still doing the same shit as England. Still today, they're still happily a part of England. Another related functionary was the boy bishop, the leader of children's Christmas festivities in the choir schools. After the death of Edward VI in 1553, the English court ceased to appoint a Lord of Misrule. So that's when it ended, right? Those are the dates. During the early Tudor period, and then 1553, that's when they stopped it. So this is only 400 years ago. This ain't back in fucking, Jesus Christ's supposed time with the Romans and shit. This is 400 years ago. The Puritans were pissing on Christmas 200 years ago. Otto von Bismarck, George Washington was attacking fucking Christians and their Christmas fucking celebrations, not 200 fucking years ago. This shit's basically like fucking yesterday. Christmas, Saturnalia, Sol Invictus, these stuff is, they're rooted in ancient sort of traditions, but a lot of this shit, you see a lot of the remnants of it today. And of course, the rulers want you to tap down that. Of course, the rich don't want to share their shit. That's the reason why they stopped some of those fucking good things from those ancient customs. The idea of actually electing a homeless person to be king for a day, that's fucking genius. Mayor Fisher, the mayor of a big ass city, you should pick a fucking a homeless man to be king for a day. Keep that. Don't execute him. Don't kill him. In fact, why don't you find him a house after he's king for not a day, for a week, for the entire 12 days of Christmas. So for the entire 12 days of Christmas, the goddamn fucking homeless man gets all the power of the mayor, and then at the end, he gets himself a fucking house. That sounds like a nice Christmas, tradition. Why the fuck wouldn't we do that? Well, that's because Christians don't give a shit about the poor. They want to buy a bunch of shit for themselves and then say, hey, I'm a good person because I believe in God, even though I do all this evil fucking shit and don't care about anybody else but my own damn self. Pretty sure Jesus said, love the poor. That's exactly what he said over and over and over and over again. But there's lots of poor people here, lots of homeless. Nobody gives a fuck about them. So, Lord of Misrule, Protestant English, Protestant Elizabeth I. Though here and there it lingered on for some time longer. Let's see. In England, the Lord of Misrule, known in Scotland as the Abbot of Unreason, and in France as the Prince de Scott, or Prince de Satz. were the Prince de Satz, right? That's Quasimodo, was an officer appointed by lot at Christmas to preside over the Feast of Fools. The Lord of Misrule was generally a peasant or sub-deacon appointed to be in charge of Christmas revelries, which often included drunkenness and wild partying in the pagan tradition of Saturnalia. The church held similar festival involving a boy bishop. This custom was abolished by Henry VIII in 1541, restored by the Catholic Queen Mary, and again abolished by Protestant Elizabeth I. So this is sitting there saying that the Feast of Fools is a Catholic thing because these Protestants keep on fucking making it illegal. But the Christmas tree is found by Martin Luther? I don't know. On the continent, it was suppressed by the Council of Basel in 1431, but was revived in some places from time to time, even as late as the 18th century. While mostly known as a British holiday custom, the appointment of a Lord of Misrule comes from antiquity. In ancient Rome, from the 17th to the 23rd of December, a Lord of Misrule was appointed for the feast of Saturnalia in the guise of the good god Saturn. During this time, the ordinary rules of life were subverted as masters served their slaves. The office of states were held by slaves. The Lord of Misrule presided over all this and had the power to command anyone to do anything during the holiday period. This holiday seems to be the precursor to the more modern holiday, and it carried over into the Christian area. In the Tudor period, the Lord of Misrule is mentioned a number of times by contemporary documents, referring both revels at court and among the ordinary people. So, restored by Catholic Queen Mary I, let's bring back the Feast of Fools. Let's elect ourselves a Lord of Misrule. Henry VIII says no. Protestant Elizabeth I says no. So this shit is the exact same fucking shit. The same shit. Lord of Misrule is generally a peasant or sub-deacon appointed to be in charge of Christmas revelries, which include drunkenness, wild partying, and the pagan tradition of Saturnalia. Christmas. This is when the wailing and mumming, the Lord of Misrule. The Lord of Misrule, king of the slaves, during the Feast of Fools. Feast of Fools is a name given to a specific feast day celebrated by the clergy in Europe, initially in northern France, but later more widely. Its later reception history has considerably obscured modern understandings of the nature and meaning of the celebration, which originated in proper liturgical observance and has more to do with examples of medieval liturgical drama than either the earlier pagan Feast of Saturnalia and Calends or the later bourgeois Les Sautés. The central idea of the Feast of Fools always to have been a brief social revolution. A brief social revolution in which the power, dignity, and impunity is briefly conferred on those in a subordinate position. In the views of later commentators, this makes the medieval festival a successor to the Roman calends of January, although there's no continuity between the two celebrations. I don't know why I said that sentence so exciting at the end there. Really, the beginning of part, it's a brief social revolution. That's exactly right. That's a brief social revolution. It's time for the poor to feel like they're kings, to feel like they're rich, to do the rich people stuff, for men and women to switch up the roles, to understand each other a little bit better. I think that's just a good fucking thing to do anyways. To switch the ages, you know, the classes, the age, the sexes. These are all good fucking things to sort of shake up and, you know, to change things around a little bit. So yeah. Merry fucking Christmas, everybody.